Welcome back to Nonstop Fantasy. I'm Jack.
I'm Zack.
I'm Oscar.
So, before we start our usual categories, we're just going to discuss how our players did last week that we set to play, sit, trade for, and pick up. So, just a quick run through. Stafford did very well last week, throwing for 3 touchdowns and an interception with 23 fantasy points. Emmanuel Sanders caught his first touchdown pass as a 49er. Mohamed Sanu didn't do great, racking up 4.3 fantasy points in a PPR league, which really isn't that good. Chase Edmonds got hurt against the Saints defense, so can't really blame us for that. And then Gerald Everett did very, very decent. Our benches, as I said, Calvin Ridley would not have been successful, and he wasn't, even though that Matt Schwab did show signs of his old self. Odell against the Patriots, did he do all right?
No, I don't think he
I'll
did well.
fact check.
All right. David Montgomery actually did very well with the Chargers. I guess Matt Nagy was right with the running game. And Alshon Jeffrey, who always does minor. My trade for was Leonard Fournette, who went off against the New York Jets. And Ty Johnson actually didn't look like the number one running back over there. Trey Carson might seem to be the guy who's running it over there. Zach?
That's what it seems like. So for my starts, I had D.D. Westbrook for the New York Jets. I don't think his game was great. Oscar, if you want to fact check me. So, not great from, a starting standpoint. And then I had number 2 for starts was Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Again, don't think he had a great game. So, I'm 0 for 2 there.
Again, you can't blame us for this. We're just basing it off facts and everything.
And D.D. Westbrook got 0 points last week, so...
Oh, well, he was hurt.
Oh, yeah, he got hurt. And then Brandon Cooks, concussion. Well, that scared me. But I did say Goff, and he had 23 points. So that's good. And then Coleman had 40 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, yeah.
40 points.
Yeah,
so
I played him. Oh, yeah, I had 200 points last week. First time in our fantasy league ever.
Got a flex.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, then Coleman with 4 touchdowns. Then for bench, I said everybody on the Browns offense.
Even Nick Chubb. You said except Nick Chubb, but Nick Chubb fumbled twice.
He only had 10 points.
Yeah.
So everybody played bad. Tyler Boyd, if you want to fact check me there, Oscar, I don't think his game was great last week.
He got 12.8 points. For Tyler Boyd, it's not terrible, but, yeah.
And then I said bench Breida. Breida, again, not a great game.
He got hurt.
Yeah, hurt. And then Gordon also, I think decent, maybe okay.
Melvin Gordon, couple runs. I don't think.
11 points.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon has
again,
been the
great.
biggest disappointment so far. Ever.
And then I said trade for Cortland Sutton. He was averaging 13.5 points before last week. He got 10 last week, so not great. Then Kenny Stills, I need a fact check here for my pickup. He was about 40% available. I don't think he played
5
very
points.
well. Yeah, 5 points.
Not great. But again, can't blame us just basing it off facts and logical.
Facts, not facts. Projections.
Projections, whatever.
All right, so should we get into this week?
Yeah, all right. So we're having 3 stardoms from each person, 3 benchums, 1 trade, and 1 pickup. So, Oscar, do you want to start, or Zach?
I'll start. Unless you want to go. I'll start. All right. Jamison Crowder at Miami for my first start. The Jets at Miami. Herndon is out again, most likely. So I think Crowder is going to have another big day, hopefully, for the Jets on Sunday. Number 2, I have the Jets defense at Miami. I had to pick up some Jets players here. I'm a Jets fan. Also, Miami, they're not great on offense. They're not great on defense.
Not great. That's a compliment.
Last week they kind of showed flashes, and then they got destroyed.
Yeah, they showed flashes against the Steelers, but, nothing much.
They called an all-out blitz on the last play of the second quarter and gave up a touchdown. I don't think that's flashing anything. They had 1 interception.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Dolphins aren't very good. And then I have Devin Singletary versus Washington. Devin Singletary's been putting up way more points, averaging-wise, than Frank Gore. So, against Washington, again, another, 1-6 or 1-7 team. I think he's going to have another pretty good day. Oscar?
No, keep.
For my starts, I put Darren Fells. This is a risky move because he's so on and off. Because some weeks he gets so many balls thrown to him because he's getting locked up by everybody else. And some weeks he gets, no balls thrown to him and he's just sitting there running routes for no reason. So I think he's due for a good week again because his projections have only gone up so far.
And last week he did very well against Oakland with 23 points. And then he's had a couple other flash games, Chargers 15 and Kansas City 12. So
Oakland 23.
yeah.
He's ranked number 8 among ESPN tight ends in fantasy. So
Averaging about 9.7 points. Again, but he is only 34% rostered, so he's just a pickup, I feel like. With
he's
number 8.
He's a waiver pickup and a start. If you find a way to pick him up and need a tight end, I would definitely start him.
Because with Austin Hooper on a bye this week and the Rams tight ends on a bye this week, you might be looking for someone to fill in that spot.
And my second one for starting is Tyler Lockett. Yes, I know this is obvious, but Tyler Lockett isn't one of the receivers to get 25 points every single game. Sometimes he only catches like one pass for 10 points. But he's mainly like a deep target because he's so fast and just burns everybody. And sometimes he just runs short routes to get open for a few yards. But I would start Tyler Lockett because his matchup this week against the Ravens defense.
Tampa Bay.
It's Tampa Bay, my bad. The Tampa Bay secondary is just no. So they're definitely going to be going deep all game to Tyler Lockett, which leads me to my next start, which is DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is a grown man, and nobody is outpowering DK Metcalf. He will literally train wreck anybody and get open. So if you need a wide receiver, DK Metcalf is like a good guy for a flex spot or maybe a wide receiver 2 spot.
I definitely agree with that because he has shown flashes of getting a lot of catches against Atlanta, against Cleveland, the Rams, Pittsburgh. And I feel like Tampa Bay secondary will be more focused on Tyler Lockett because he is their number 1 receiver. And DK Metcalf, a lot of jump balls, a lot of 50-50 balls, he should win. And take advantage of your Seahawks receivers now because they're going to be adding Josh Gordon soon. And he'll probably getting a lot of pass catches as well.
Yeah, Metcalf averaging about 10.7 points per game.
And he's 75% rostered, which is kind of low for a guy who takes most of the snaps on the field.
Yeah, so even if you disagree with us and you don't want to start him, still maybe sit him on your bench.
Yeah, have him on your team as a safe bet. Okay, my sit is...
Sorry. And so for my stardoms, I have Jalen Samuels. So if James Conner doesn't play, then Jalen Samuels is going to be very productive, I believe. The Indianapolis defense isn't amazing. I mean, they're ranked probably in the middle of the pack. And with James Conner out, I mean, against Cincinnati, he had 23.5 points in our league. So I definitely think that he is good for a game, and I definitely think that he could start on another team if he was given the chance. My second start, like last week, I have Mohamed Sanu. So yes, he had 4 points last week in our league, but I still think like the Baltimore secondary is good. But again, Mohamed Sanu is a slot receiver, so he should be catching passes over the middle. And I definitely think that with Marcus Peters on the team, they'll be focusing more on Julian Edelman, who is their number 1 receiver, which leaves Mohamed Sanu one-on-one, hopefully getting open. My final start is DJ Moore. So Tennessee's defense is ranked one of the lowest in the league in everything.
Well deserving.
Yeah. And look, they obviously have Christian McCaffrey, so DJ Moore has been taking a back seat in that offense. But if Christian McCaffrey manages to get locked up, and maybe he won't, DJ Moore will be there to pick up the slack.
So for our sits, I'm going to start off with Mark Ingram versus New England. Mark Ingram has been inconsistent, to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of good games and a couple not so great games. But against New England, he's going to get locked up. I mean, you saw what they do to the Browns. You see what they do to the Jets. They
bully people. They straight up bully people.
I mean, against the Seahawks in Week 7, only 46 yards. And then against Cleveland, only 71. Arizona, week 2, only 47. And then other games, yes, he's shown...
Against Arizona, 40 yards, that should tell you in and of itself.
I mean, Arizona's
Just
defense isn't bad. Let's look what they did to Tevin Coleman last night, which kind of affected my team very gratefully.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mark Ingram, I wouldn't play him against the Patriots. Number 2, Cortland Sutton versus Cleveland. Now, this is probably a multiple-week thing, maybe even the rest of the year. Due to the fact that Joe Flacco was now put on the IR and is now out for the year, Sutton is not going to be getting as many catches. Inaccurate passes are going to affect him. He's probably going to be locked down a little more. And so I don't think Sutton's going to be a great player for the rest of the year.
I disagree with this. So, look, their quarterback is Brandon Allen. He has not thrown a pass in the NFL yet, which is the reason
Yikes.
that they're going to be throwing the ball more when they're down. They're gonna have to get back into the game, and the only way to get back into the game is score touchdowns quickly, and you're not going to do that running.
Broncos defense ain't going to get them any points.
No, it's going to be throwing. And they're going to want to test Brandon Allen a little bit, and I still think he's going to get his regular catches, because receivers' skill is somewhat based on the quarterback, is somewhat based on who they are overall.
And I would say it's a risky thing to say it when we haven't even seen the guy throw a ball yet. He could be better than Joe Flacco. We don't know.
I mean, Joe Flacco isn't great.
Joe Flacco is the biggest bust ever.
Here's my counteract to that, though. When Stidham came in against the Jets in, I think, week 3, the backup Patriots quarterback immediately threw a pick 6. These guys who haven't thrown a ball yet, they're nervous. They're not going to be great. Just like Darnold on his first play in the career. Pick 6. It's going to happen.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Stidham... That happened, but Brandon Allen is going to get better. So maybe not Cortland Sutton this week, but I think in a couple weeks you can gain confidence back in him.
Yeah. And then number 3, I have Marvin Jones versus Oakland. Marvin Jones is good, but
he's good when Kenny Galladay is getting locked up.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Marvin Jones. He had that 3 touchdown game, 43-point game, but that's just so unlikely to happen again. There's a 1% chance that'll even happen again. That I think that he's a good bench player, maybe a flex player when you have a tough week where you have a couple guys on bye. But no, I don't see playing him.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, he had a 4-touchdown great game, but let's be honest, Kenny Galladay is their number 1 receiver over there. And then Danny Amendola, who we'll get to a little bit later, has been seeming to be more liable option for Matt Stafford.
Yeah, Oscar.
For my first hit is Lamar Jackson. This is going to be argued, I already know. But look at it like this. If Lamar Jackson throws the ball, he's going to get intercepted. It's just not even a question. Because, yes, he's going to run for a lot of yards, but the chances of he maybe will get 1 rushing touchdown. But him throwing the ball is not going to be his most reliable option. Maybe all short routes and stuff. But no deep balls are going to be thrown. No 60-yard touchdowns. No, crap like that.
Yeah.
So, Lamar Jackson, he's going to be rushing. So, I would say if you don't have another quarterback on your team, I would start him. But if you have a quarterback that's matched up against a bad team.
Somebody with a better upside.
If you have Sam Darnold playing Miami, definitely play Sam Darnold over Lamar Jackson.
I kind of disagree with this because Lamar Jackson is so good
at
running, but he's still a pretty good thrower. Pretty good for a running back quote. But, he's still really good at a throwing quarterback. Not many weapons at receivers. He's got Marquise Brown, but meh. So I don't know about sitting him, but I would think about maybe starting him and then think about other quarterbacks that are either available for this week or you have on your bench.
I would definitely check the waiver wire before you sit him.
Yeah, I agree with Zach more. I don't think that he's going to have an amazing day. I definitely think the Patriots defense is still going to show up in this game. But Lamar Jackson is a crafty quarterback. He can find ways to get out of the pocket, evade defenses, and I still think he could have a successful game, especially if they're down and they have to throw the ball.
My second sit is Miles Sanders, who is the Eagles running back. He is because, like, yes, he has a couple good games, but it's come up recently that he might be battling an injury. He's only had one game. He's only had 2 games over 15 points and 1 game over 20. So, I wouldn't trust him, especially against Week 9 against the Bears defense, which is top 5 defense in the league. And I would definitely not trust him as a running back 1 or running back 2 spot.
Along with, since they not follow Miles Sanders because they also have Jordan Howard and Darren Sproles, so they'll have other options.
And also, just about him, Carson Wentz probably is going to get sacked in the middle of handing the ball off and then fumble it, and then it's going to get returned for a touchdown. Because that's what Carson Wentz does. He's just bad at playing football. So just let me just have this. So my third sit is the Ravens defense because of good-looking Timothy Brady. Tom Brady's annoying. He just throws all these little short passes to all his receivers.
And then when he wants to go deep, he goes deep.
And then as he just waits and banks his time, and then, Julian Edelman is in a one-on-one. Lobs it up to him. Julian Edelman uses his beard, catches the ball. And then it's just over. Tom Brady's annoying because he just knows how to play the game.
Let's put it this way. He's annoying because he's so good.
I'm mad at him because he's so good at football.
Being Tom Brady is clearly one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but I honestly
he is the best quarterback.
Yeah, he's the best quarterback of all. He's easily the best quarterback of all time.
I honestly think that he plays better against teams that give him a more competition because he puts into his decision making is better, and I definitely think he's in for a big game.
A big game?
Yeah, okay, huge game.
You ever heard of Earl Thomas, Jack? But different topic.
Okay, so for my first bench is Golden Tate. Now, I don't know how many people actually have Golden Tate on their teams.
I got the fact check.
But if you think about it, Cowboys' defense is very good, even without acquiring Jamal Adams from whatever rumors that was. But look, Sterling Shepard is back this week. They have Evan Ingram, who I'm playing against in fantasy this week, so I don't want to have a big game. And then, of course, they have good old Saquon Barkley. I just don't think that Golden Tate's in for a game, especially because the Cowboys' defense is actually looking better and better as the weeks continue. They look like they were having somewhat a little struggle. I mean, after a loss to the Jets team and stuff. But they are ranked top 15 in the league, so I don't think Golden Tate's up for a big game. My second choice is LaShawn McCoy. So LaShawn McCoy is clearly now the number 1 running back in Kansas City.
They don't even have good running backs. So
I mean,
that's just
they have both.
Stupid statement.
They have Damian and Darrell Williams and stuff.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're all right.
Best.
You really think Patrick Mahomes, coming back from an injury, is going to hand the ball off?
Is he playing?
I don't know.
When he has Tyreek Hill back. All right, I'm done.
But again, against Green Bay, he didn't do well. Against Denver, he didn't do well. And against Houston, actually, he's only had a couple of okay games, and that's good for me because I'm playing him in fantasy this week against him. So I just don't think LaShawn McCoy is supposed to have such a great game, even though people are like, we might break out again to playing Minnesota's defense, and Minnesota's defense is one of the top defenses in the league. And my final bench is Patrick Mahomes.
Brr.
Look, I know Patrick Mahomes is good. I know that he can run. I know that he can throw. But coming off an injury against the Green Bay Packers, who are now looking like a very good Super Bowl contender and a top NFC team led by MVP candidate Aaron Rodgers.
Ronald Rodgers?
And then, so I definitely think that Patrick Mahomes is not going to play like he used to. So if you have another...
Madden curse strikes?
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm Matt Stafford. I'm definitely playing him this week because you just can't trust, no matter how good they are, you can't really trust anyone off of injury. And he may not even play. He's questionable going into it.
We're talking about one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen in a very long time. And before anyone argues and disagrees with me, let me get my point out. And the Chiefs are going to be very smart about this. If he even has a little bit of uncomfiness, they're not going to play him. Because they don't want to put him out here they don't want to put him out there, and then he gets sacked, he re-dislocates his knee, and then he's out for like
4 more weeks.
decades.
Yeah.
They don't want to hurt their chances at maybe getting a 2 seed in the AFC, and getting the first home, like getting that bye off maybe, or getting that first home game. So they don't want to take those chances. So yeah, I agree with Oscar. I agree with Jack. The bench maybe, because if we will know, we're recording and uploading this on a Friday, so you'll know at about 11:30 if he's playing or not. But if he plays and they see that he's limping a little bit, maybe doesn't feel right in the pocket, he's coming out. Matt Moore's going in, and then he's done for the rest of the game. So yeah, I agree. Bench him.
All right, now for our trades. Only one trade.
Yeah, I'll start. I have Calvin Ridley. Actually, I looked at his numbers today when we were planning this out, and I was like, his numbers are actually pretty decent. And, I know that he's, locked up in all the leagues, 92% rostered, but he's definitely a player that is traded, will be traded if you give somebody a good, decent offer. And he will be traded, and he gets a pretty good flex.
Okay. My trade for is Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon.
It doesn't matter what his name is. It matters what the point is. Anyway, before the interruption. I think since David Johnson just decides to get hurt every week for fun, I think that Kenyon Drake will be a good option, because last week he got 24 points.
28.
I think. 28 points.
Last
night on Thursday Night
against
Football.
San Francisco's defense.
7-0 San Francisco's defense.
8-0 now.
Let me talk. And I think if you are in desperate need of a running back, which is my situation right now, I think definitely trade for him. You don't have to give up your best player for him, and it would be a good running back 1 or running back 2 option, depending on what you need.
I fully disagree with this.
So do I.
To be completely honest.
Shocker. Okay, continue.
When I have David Johnson on my team. Actually, not anymore. I traded him to Oscar.
Damn right.
To be completely honest, I don't agree with this, because when David Johnson comes back
And Chase Edmonds.
comes back, those guys are going to be splitting pretty much even time, to be completely honest. Chase Edmonds has shown some talent that he may be honestly better than David Johnson.
No, I don't think that.
That's
David
because he
Johnson-
got hurt the first snap of the game and left the game. That's the only reason.
No,
he got
he
35
wasn't.
points.
He played 1 snap. He was not hurt.
Yeah.
He was active for
Smart.
But still, I don't agree with this, because once both those guys comes back, David Johnson's probably going to be getting maybe 60% of snaps, and then Kenyon Drake will be getting probably about 30, and maybe Edmonds 10, or in that kind of proportion. So Drake is going to be kind of put in the secondary slot.
A good option if you are in desperate need of a running back to trade for.
Yeah, yes and no, but
it's a big risk. Once those running backs coming back, he's never gonna have a game like he had
now
last night.
he has a huge upside, but his downside is really, really far down.
I don't know. Maybe if David Johnson and Chase Edmonds don't come back, but I'm pretty sure David Johnson is supposed to come back next week.
Yeah.
So it may not be the best option, but again, if you're desperate, then go for him.
And here's another thing. So if you're in a situation like me, your team sucks, you only have one good player, I would definitely trade for him. Have a good trade so that way you can have somebody else on your team that you can rely on for maybe 10 points. So that way he can give you a little boost.
Fair enough. All right, so for my trade for is Chris Carson. So Tyler Lockett is clearly a top offensive player, but I definitely think Chris Carson, not only is he taking a back seat to Tyler Lockett in that offense, but Chris Carson isn't a noticeable running back in the league. He's been putting up some very good numbers against very good defenses, and I just think he's a player that isn't that isn't amazing, that he's a lock and won't be traded, but isn't bad enough that you're giving up too much.
Yeah, I agree. And then for waiver pickups, I actually have just two short ones. I have Danny Amendola, who's 57% available because he's getting some good looks from Matthew Stafford, right? Correct. And then Kareem Hunt, also 57% rostered. 57% rostered, and Amendola's 57% available. Kareem Hunt obviously comes back next week. I just traded for him with Oscar. We made that David Johnson trade. A bunch of players for David Johnson, just short couple players. And then Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola is the one I want to focus on because Hunt, he's probably going to be 60-40 with Chubb. But Amendola, been getting some good looks, been putting up some good points, and I think he's a good pickup if you need a guy that, you can fill in for a flex every once in a while.
Okay, I'll go next. My waiver pickup is Corey Davis. So, the reason why I'm saying this is, again, if you're in a situation where you need, somebody just to, boost your offense, Corey Davis is very on and off. Very on and off. That's why I'm saying very. But, okay.
On and off. He's literally just off. He's averaging 6 points a game or something. 8 points.
He's ranked number 54 in ESPN fantasy receivers.
He had 120-plus game, and that was his only.
He's taking a
220-plus
backseat to A.J. Brown.
Yeah, no, you're not even allowed to
All
talk.
right, I'll let the two Matthew Berrys continue this conversation.
Yes, he had 2 20-point games, but after that, the highest scoring game was 7.
Yeah, he's trash.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, your turn, because I don't even want to listen to Oscar.
All right, my pickup, and this one Oscar can't purposely disagree with, is Mark Walton.
No! Oh my God, no! But
Miami
continue.
running back?
Yeah.
No.
Miami running the ball. It's just unfathomable.
This doesn't
Okay, so that was it from Zach, Jack, and Oscar, and our friend Dean says hi.